What is up, beats and viewers? My name is Kiss, and welcome back to KTV Network. Today I'm reacting to Devil May Cry 2 Breaks People. I remember my Devil May Cry playthrough. I even enjoyed the one that dragged the original series, but I enjoyed it a lot. Somebody told me not to play Devil May Cry 2, and I kind of checked out halfway through the game. It was kind of boring, and I don't understand Lucia's part at all. It was nice to play as a different character, I guess. I really liked his design for Devil May Cry 2, but it wasn't engaging as 1. It wasn't engaging as 3 and 4, and 5. Absolutely 5. Is there a 6 coming out? I think so. But yeah, let's see what the Cyan Man has to say.
Cyan Man, if you could read this message,
The Cyan Man.
Play Devil May Cry 2. Please, or you will hurt yourself. Please play all Devil May Cry games except Devil May Cry 2.
This is the advice I got.
DMC 2.
This is the advice I got.
Is saying, skip 2. Devil May Cry 1 is great. Devil May Cry 2 is awful. By God, skip the second game. I feel I speak for the majority here in saying it's completely okay to skip 2.
Y'all hate the game that much.
I got into the series playing 1, 2, and 3. Liked the first game. Loved the third. But the second bit me in the balls and killed my dog.
What?
Borrowing from the wise words of Jyn Erso from Rogue One, I rebel. So I played it anyway. Mind meld with me for a minute, and imagine, if you will, a story written and pieced together by the Have You Ever Had a Dream kid while hiring the cameraman from Cloverfield, who also happens to have a lazy eye. Now imagine playing a game through this man's camera to enjoy attacking most of your enemies off screen while learning what vertigo feels like. And boom,
Yes.
it's not a recurring nightmare.
Yes, I remember that.
That's Devil May Cry 2.
Sparda eradicated the demons.
If you can't trust the narrator, then who can you trust? I want to say I don't hate this game. On the one hand, I feel kind of bad ragging on this game because I know it went through some development hell, which was no fault to them, really. A lot of the people
rag on
forced
this
to make it
game
in a very short amount of time. For some reason, Capcom kind of tossed the game around to a bunch of different studios instead of leaving it with the original creators of Devil May Cry 1 because they wanted to make it its own thing and have a darker turn on everything. By the time it finally reached the director that had to put everything together and said,
"That's your first mistake. When there are too many cooks in the kitchen, a product fails." No.
6 months. It was a series of largely unconnected concepts that had to be strung together, like, pretty badly.
The team that finished the second had to piece together the scraps of something that was already broken. So he came back to direct the rest because 2 did so poorly. Wow.
And they did their best. It was a bad hand to be dealt. On the other hand, I feel like this game just gave me a stroke, so I'm going to talk about it, and I don't care. And you at least got to agree there's something wrong with this camera angle. This time around, you get to play as
it really
Lucia,
was.
who exists, I guess, and has natural hair that's natural. Or Dante, the son of Sparda. Yeah, Dante, the charismatic, cool guy from Devil May Cry 1 with all the quips. I know this guy.
You called? You knew him? Looks like it's your lucky day.
Now that's some character development. If he doesn't say anything else in the first half of the game, that'd be so cool. He doesn't? Hell yeah! Pop quiz time, Brainiacs. What happens next? Is it A, they f***ing die, B, Dante turns into a demon and flies away to save everyone, or C, the explosion is never explained and an old woman walks out of the basement like nothing happened? That's right, gamers. It's C. And if you thought for a second it was A and B, you're an idiot.
I remember this.
Story and plot took a vacation on this one. Let's just say the lore of Neon Genesis Evangelion makes more sense to me than this game. There's a lot of unexplained things. Now, I'm not talking about needing more exposition. Executing a story based in mystery and unexplained events can be incredibly well done. Not talking about that. My problem is that the game almost gaslights the player into believing that it relayed information it never did. Near the end of the game, Lucia says,
I was created
Now, maybe I'm just a smooth-brained idiot, but rewatching all
No.
the cutscenes, I couldn't find a single time prior to this that either of those major conflicts were mentioned. Now, okay, is a story where a guy can block a motorcycle with bullets the place to care about logic, you ask? Maybe
Although it
not,
looks
but
nice, it looks
I don't
cool,
care.
but
So you'll have to forgive me, but I had a hard time digesting this one. The first game was kind enough to give you a
yeah, and I know how that kid feels. Eating too much chocolate can be nauseating. I know. I remember that scene. Matilda.
objective in each of the missions. This is completely missing in this game. Alright, rapid fire speed round time of things that stirred my mind to jelly. Did you want to know why you fought your way through a city full of demons to get to a skyscraper? Well, too bad, because the next cutscene is landing on an oil rig for some reason. Why are they in this museum stealing a coin? What does it do? I don't know. I just know that she called and then said.
Till next time.
So naturally the next step would be to jump off of a clock tower and pretend you're Kratos in the next cutscene. Why does a demon helicopter chase you around? Why did this building just come alive? Would I like to know what this timer means when it shows up? Possibly. You'd think for a game that lets you fight devil tanks and hellfire goat demons, the combat would be entertaining at least, right? I'd like to now call the court's attention to Exhibit 406.
Never got this far. Wait, so he doesn't even... It doesn't even come close? That's it?
I rest my case, Your Honor. You're welcome. I know. Thank. The boss fights in this made me relate to Link in the Faces of Evil, thinking, it sure is boring around here. There's a lot of things that in theory in this game should be really cool. Let's take Infested
That's
Chopper.
really bad.
The entire fight consists of you shooting your guns in the air at a barely visible helicopter so you can slowly inch down its health bar. And I mean slowly. I think a sloth could probably cross a river faster than it takes to shoot this thing all the way down to no health. I think the big problem is that this game is missing the style of the first game. In an attempt to make it more serious, they kind of neutered themselves to take out what was actually really great about it. But that all changed when I found out what's really fun in games. Elevators. There's something just so unbelievably satisfying about going down an elevator, don't you think? Did you know that statistically speaking, elevators are the safest form of travel? And more so than
It
planes.
reminds me of the Resident Evil elevators from the
Because people
beginning,
who die
like
in
Outbreak.
elevators are generally just elevator technicians, which is pretty obvious. But
Or Resident Evil 2.
The first elevator was actually strongly believed to be invented in 236 BC by Archimedes. Did you know that? That's kind of wild, right?
No, it didn't.
Even the Colosseum
Good to know.
had elevators operated by slaves, which is kind of nuts. I think there was like 24 in total, ran by like 200 slaves. Romans.
That's
right?
crazy.
They're also statistically 20 times safer than escalators. Also, did you know that elevators, on the bright side, Devil May Cry 2 at least gifted the world with another voice acting god with Arius, this wonderful man, truly the MVP of the game.
Well, what have we here?
He was entertaining.
You have to ask.
Yes, Dante, I kind of do actually. I'm very confused.
Maybe another.
It's like they took the humor out of Dante for the second game. Like, he wasn't... he was far too serious. I'm glad they combined this personality of his with Devil May Cry. Well, actually, no. Devil May Cry 1 and 3 and made 5.
Time.
For a second, I just want you to take a look at this pristine, lovely map from Devil May Cry 1. Look at this beautiful location indicator and this majestic objective marker. Boom. Epic, lovely, nice, functional. What is this? Like, why? I don't understand. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. Say hypothetically, you had a timer to get off an oil rig before it blew up for an unexplained reason, and you got to a plane. Would you think to get in and fly away from the oil rig? Obviously not, you dingus. You get in the plane and think it's taking off. When you get
Right.
confused, you wait. Then you get back out and you realize the plane just smashed into a fan. Obviously, the next step should be to stumble around until you accidentally jump behind the fan so you know, ride off in a motorcycle because it turns out you're not on an oil rig anymore. After that, Dante decides to go to some ruins to look at the floor, I guess, because, you know, as you do. Oh. Okay. What? We're here now, I guess. It's never explained why you were heading underground, but Dante had some luck points saved up, I guess, and ends up running into Lucia down there. Whatever. Yeah, whatever.
But
What?
actually, I do not deserve this power.
What power? I don't understand.
Bring this to Mathieu for me. Please.
You haven't even told me what this cup is. So after
You
a
don't
boss
even tell
fight
me
that
who
takes
he
less than
is.
2 minutes, he runs into the old lady again.
Oh,
Seems you have obtained the final arcana.
Now I gotta be clear. This is the first time we are hearing these words. Then she says something crazy. She says, in less than 2 minutes from the last cutscene, Lucia has now been captured by Arius and has infiltrated his base. That's an impressive speed run. Anyway, Dante continues his obsession with Harvey Dent flipping a trick coin to make decisions in this game.
yeah, I didn't understand
I
that.
watched The Dark Knight recently.
It's like, what? That's not even a part of his personality. Like, he has to flip a coin to decide whether he's gonna do it or not. That's. Even hearing the explanation and the breakdown for all of this is confusing me.
So she gives Dante a bunch of random arcana that she still refuses to explain. Naturally, this is the next scene with nothing in between.
Like, how'd you get there?
Kill me!
That man is going to bring me the arcana shortly. You will live to see that.
That's just a piece of crap.
How did Dante get inside the headquarters of the main bad guy? Some questions don't have answers, but I think Dante just beat Lucia's speedrun.
Forget about me. Kill Arius.
Don't worry. I've got you.
What poor character development. Like, forget about me, girl,
I
of
like
course. We don't like
These
you.
scenes are great.
We don't know you
If
well
the
enough to
game
like you.
releases, I would have a wonderful time. I gotta give credit where it's due. This next scene is some of the greatest voice acting I've ever seen. Celine Dion's heart may go on, but this voice acting is gonna go on in my heart forever.
What? What's going on?
Is there a problem?
You! Is that the medallion?
A false coin for a false god.
So I did think I finished it.
So anyway, you fight him, and he uses his most powerful move, sit on a bench, before this dialogue from the gods.
Wow.
My dream! My life! I was going to be the king of this world!
Even though this is corny, to be fair, like this is the most we've gotten out of this game.
King? Yeah. Here's your crown.
I'm not gonna lie, that's actually pretty badass. I like that. I like that.
After the most epic
I did
power
like that.
transition of all time, Lucia is asking you to
Kill me.
because she thinks she's gonna start killing people.
Kill me.
But Dante decides that's for nerds. Remember when you stopped the ritual?
How many
in the
times
last
does she
mission?
say kill me?
Well, naturally the ritual happens. You gotta give it to them. They definitely hit their quota for their sky beams.
The ritual was incomplete. But the door to the demon world is...
She's right, it was incomplete. But we don't know why it ever opened. It doesn't ever say. So Lucia continues to have self-esteem issues, so Dante throws out his catchphrase.
Devils never cry.
So Dante pretends to be Harvey Dent one more time to distract her and then enters the sky beam.
I got thoughts, but I'll save it for this.
So Dante enters the portal and fights a Cronenberg blob of all of the bosses he's killed using an infinite ammo glitch. Then Dante fights a hermaphrodite demon who, for some reason, just lets him sit there pointing a gun at him for an obscenely long time and then just is like, you know what, it's fine. Maybe now is the time to get shot in the face. He finds a motorcycle there with the power to ride off into hell.
Better notice she was looking directly at the gun.
Without any credits.
Yeah. Let's go all the way to hell.
Alright, never mind. Best game ever.
Flip a coin and like the video. That's funny. See, this game is proof positive that if any game fails and falls, has its moment to fall, you know, hit rock bottom, it can rise again. Like Dragon Age, the Veilguard, and I'm looking at you, Saints Row. So it's proof that, you know, you can pick up the pieces and move on. And here's hoping that somebody does just that moving forward. But let me know what you think about this video down in the comments below. Let me know what other gaming videos you want me to react to or media related content. Like and subscribe if that can be today. And I will see you guys on live streams eventually. Take care. Thanks for stopping by.